Hi everyone. So we are here again with Jesse with J2 Architects, and I interviewed him a few months ago, and he's here again to give us a few updates on the new rules and regulations for building ADUs. So take it away.
Thank you, Carmen. So again, my name is Jesse. I'm an architect. We came through and presented the updates on accessory dwelling units for this year, 2020. There's been several changes. I'll give you the rundown in terms of what has changed this year or what is changing this year. I'll give you the top four. The first one is there's no longer a requirement on it being owner occupied. So now if you decide to rent both homes, you can do that without having to be restricted. The second one is there is no minimum lot size anymore. So if you're a 4,000 square foot, 5,000 square foot lot, this would apply for your property. The third one is that if you decide to do an ADU or convert your garage into an ADU, they've actually removed some of the requirements that would require you to rebuild a new garage. So that's pretty big depending on what city you live in. And lastly, the other one is that now some properties will qualify for a third ADU. What they're calling it is a junior ADU. Again, there's now the possibility of not just having two homes, but now you have three homes in the single property or single lot. If you have more questions or would like an assessment of your property, feel free to either reach me. My number is 562-522-0056. Or you could get a hold of Carmen, and Carmen would put you in contact with me, or maybe she would know so much based on this presentation that she could take care of it.
Yes, definitely. I do have one more question, Jesse. So I have a lot of clients that when we're all looking at property, they ask me, hey, you think this house qualifies to build an ADU? Can you give us a few tips on what we should be looking for any client to potentially to build an ADU in the future?
So there's several, I would say, at a minimum requirements that your property needs to fulfill, and the biggest one is that it must be the area you're in or the property you're in should be zoned for residential or allow for residential. What that means is that even if you're in a commercial property, if they allow for residential, then your property will qualify. The other one is, obviously, I talked about lot square footage. Obviously, there's no minimum that you have to meet. But what I would say is that for mine, I would say at a minimum, I'd say like 5,000 square feet would be ideal. Just because once you talk about putting or having an existing home, an existing garage, and then adding a new ADU, you want to be able to still maintain some open space. So that's kind of the requirements. And obviously the other big one would be that it has an existing single family home or a residential use on it.
Okay, perfect. That's really good information. Thank you so much. So if you guys want an actual, exact assessment of your property, you guys can contact me or contact Jesse, and he can help you do that. He'll go over the details on the fees and stuff when you speak to him. But any questions, you can call me as well at 323-646-2091.